Back to the madness. Today's video is pretty spicy. We are looking at the top 64 breakdown going into the Toronto DLC for day 2. Without further ado, let's just jump into it so you guys can see what you're going to be looking at when you guys watch it later today. So here's the top 64, guys. At the end, I'll talk about who I think is going to win it and why. But in the meantime, what do we got? 7 blue steel, 6 of our discard package, the green yellow, 13 red purple. I expected this to be number 2, most represented. We got 7 blue red, 21 steel song. I expected this to be the most in day 2, but I did not expect 21. This is almost 33% of the top 64. That's massive. We got 2 green steel because who needs Bucky? We got 1 Christmas tree deck, our green red, 6 EA tempo green purple, and 1 purple steel holding strong. So I thought for the rest of this, I wanted to highlight a couple decks. Of course, we're going to highlight the 1 purple steel and the 1 green red Christmas tree. Our number 1 in first place, Jonathan Lamb, and then a couple steel song lists. So just a couple different things I wanted to look at. So let's go ahead and pull those up and we can get that out of there. Our first one though, Jonathan Lamb. All right, Jonathan Lamb's in first place going into day 2. And the first thing that you need to notice here, 1 Tamatoa. Ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time we saw 1 Tamatoa being played? This is awesome. And then we got 2 Gastons. He's bringing back the Beast. We got 3 Beasts going strong in here, and 2 Chin Pose. So when we look at this, Fire the Cannons is huge. We're starting to see this come back in set 5, but this is massive going into the Steel Song matchup. In my experience, Blue Steel has felt always in my favor as Steel Song, but they weren't running Rise of the Can or Fire the Cannons. And Fire the Cannons changes everything because it makes it that much more difficult for Steel Song to get their shift lines down. So losing those shift lines, losing that early ink, that really hurts. So that's really big. That's going to be massive. Rise of the Titans, of course, to deal with flutes or locations for anyone that's running locations, looking at you, Purple. But here's the other big one, McDuck Manor. He's running 3 McDuck Manors in his Blue Steel. So now there's a lot to deal with here. Blue Steel, typically their hardest matchup is purple or blue red. Well, now with McDuck Manor, they're gonna have to deal with not only this board of just beefy people, but also they're gonna have to deal with McDuck Manor. And it's not as easy as dealing with Queen's Castle, because in Queen's Castle they've teched in Hercules, but Hercules isn't enough. We're gonna need 2 Hercules, but the odds of your Hercules sticking are slim to none. So this is dangerous. This is really, really dangerous, and I'm already rethinking my predictions, but I'm not going to change them. I'll leave my prediction, but I'm rethinking it now because I think I'm wrong. But we're looking at 2 Fortisphere, 4 Popsicle. Normally we'll see the 4 and 4, but also only 1 Lucky Dime. He's not he's not trying to get the win on that 1 Lucky Dime. Like, it's going to help, but Tamatoa, he's just trying to quest slowly but surely, quest away while controlling the board, and then he's got some McDuck manners to hold it down. So this is a spicy list. I didn't pick Blue Steel to be the win, but I don't know. This might be the win. It has everything you need to the Argus to counter the flat or the Flynn Riders. This is kind of the whole package. This is dangerous, and I'm really interested to watch him because we will be watching him when he gets to top 4. So I like this list. But let's look at the next one. The next one I want to highlight was Jamie Campbell. And the big thing I wanted to highlight here is that Jamie is running the same win con that I would run in my Steel Song list that I won or that I ran for my recent case tournament, and it's what I would have ran going into this tournament. He's got the 4 Sleepy Flutes, he or she, I apologize, and then the 3 Blues. It's just so powerful doing this because Sure, it's high on inkables, but if you're used to running on inkables, then you feel okay doing it. Um, I didn't run the Gastons, and I don't like grab your swords, but it's working well for him. And you guys will see later at some of the lists that we're going to look at of why this is kind of really important. But overall, it's just a strong list. It has a lot of everything. Um, and I think he's going to do really well, or they're going to do really well with this list. So, but yeah, I like the blues. I like the flutes. I'm a huge flute person. I've always preferred the flutes over harps, but we'll look at some harps in a second because the next steel song list I wanted to highlight was Jackie Chang. And I wanted to highlight this one because it's different. It's spicy. So we got the harps in here, all right. But then we've got the Queen shift line, the Robin Hood shift line, and then we've got Aerial Sonic Warrior shift line and the Cinderella shift line. So we're just looking at a whole lot of shifts in here. The one of is interesting, but that's going to be really strong into the mirror. Like if he can get the aerial to stick to get this off, that's going to be really strong. So I'm excited to see if that works out. But yeah, two harps, no flutes. So it's going to be interesting to see how the win con comes into red purple, especially because there's only two bare necessities. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this list, but I did want to highlight that. The next one I wanted to highlight was Lucas Delaney. Um, but I wanted to highlight this one because I hated seeing Big Caesars come back into red purple. Big Caesar is just so strong into Steel Song, you know. And then he is running the one Sorcerer's Spellbook for the mirror. So just a strong list, only one crab. But yeah, that's scary for that Steel Song mirror. And when there's 21 or Steel Song matchup, and when there's 21 Steel Songs, you've got to be feeling pretty good. You got to be feeling pretty good. The only question that has to be asked is with so many running flutes, you have to be able to answer the board and then be prepared to beat them down to beat them before they can flute. But you hate to see the big Sisu. The next one I want to highlight was I'm going to butcher your name and I'm so sorry, but I wanted to highlight Nikita Mosev. Mosev? Um, but I wanted to highlight this one specifically um, because of Wochuk. It's a little bit different, but it's the first one that we're seeing where the main win con is Golden Harps. And Wochuk, for those of you who don't know, is the big reason that Golden Harps started seeing any play whatsoever. So he's the one that really made this a card worth playing, but brought it to everyone's attention. So I just wanted to shout out Wochuk and Nikita at the same time. This one's a little bit different than Wochuk's version that he made popular. Wochuk likes the Gastons. He is not running the Gastons in this list, but I do like this list. And I always think it's interesting to see Golden Harps without four bare necessities, but to each their own. They're top 64. Who am I to judge? Let's make that right now. Who am I to judge any of these guys? They're top 64 at Toronto right now. So they're kicking butt with what they got. So love to see it. The next one I wanted to highlight was Felipe Feochari. Feochari? Again, I'm sorry, guys. But Philip, maybe, is ranked 32 right now. No, that's not it. He's the green steel. He's the top green steel right now. And he is nowhere. There he is. He's 14th right now with his green steel. Again, who needs Bucky? I know a lot of people predicted we'd be seeing a lot of green steel. Just make that swap to go back to the old green steel, but we didn't. We're not seeing a whole lot. Only two. Um, but in here we've got the curse. Only two curse mofolk. Only three Flynn Rider. Um, the one Robin Hood shift line. Like this is really interesting, and I'm sure a Daisy Duck. Whenever this character quests, each opponent chooses and discards a card. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to see this, and their OCD is just going to beat the crap out of them because we don't have really four of anything. We have four of Beast, let the Storm right. So we got a couple fours down here, but not much. So ultimately, try to get those Ursula Deceivers off when you have a Prince John, and get these songs going. The big worry is you're gonna have to hope that you can Ursula. Maybe they steal song players mulligan into their grab your swords, and then you can Ursula their grab your swords. Um, but you're going to lose a lot of that draw power if you lose your Johns, of course. So just hoping to get those grab your swords. But I'm excited to see how far these green steel lists go, especially something that's so kind of all over the place. But hey, again, it's working for him. The next one is our only Christmas tree deck, David Portugal. All right. You love to see Christmas tree, right? It's just such a pretty color combination. One of my buddies, Nocturne, he's been playing Christmas tree since he started, and he's sticking with it through thick and thin. So Nocturne, if you're watching, maybe here's something you might like. But we got the Hey Hey. All right. When you play this character, if your opponent has more cards in their inkwell than you may put the top card of your deck into your inkwell. So just get going, get some stuff down so you can do some more stuff. We've got the Super Goof coming in strong. Get that 2 lore. Of course, we've got, one of the things I do like about this list is like Pegasus into Pegasus can be so strong, giving all those guys evasive, to do their thing, questing for 2. The Prince Erics are super strong. I just love seeing all this evasive because it's hard for people to deal with. Ready your characters once you've done stuff with them. So just a really strong list. I love the inclusion of the Lumiere. Makes it a little bit harder to brawl, makes it harder for your big Sizus. So I like it. I think this is a really fun list. I'm really excited for Green Red Christmas in set 5. There's a lot of really exciting stuff happening there. The next one is our one and only Purple Steel list with Michael Arroyo. So our one and only Purple Steel. And what do we see? But of course, um, something a little different, right? At first, I gotta be honest, guys. I saw Blue Fairy, I saw the Jafar. I was looking for Jafar, and but this is not a Jafar wheel deck. This is this is a very this is just do your thing, beat them down. Purple Steel. All right, I like it. We've got the Captain Hooks to challenge right away, the Aladdins to handle any items, which is going to be really big into. This is really going to help with the Steel Song list, actually. I would have liked to have seen Chin Po. Chin Po is super strong in the Steel Song, but we just see a lot of good stuff. I'm interested to see how this does into Steel Song, though. I'd like to know what his matchups were today, just to see what he's got going on. But this is just a really well put together deck that has a lot of answers for a lot of stuff. Rise of the Titans for locations and items, Aladdin for items, lots of card draw, of course, Spellbook for the purple matchups. I just a really well put together list. So I like it. I like to see it. All right, the last one I wanted to look at was our top ranked EA Tempo deck. So our top ranked green, purple, and then we'll talk my predictions on where who what I think is going to win, but also why I think I may be wrong. Here we go. Jacob Finney in 22nd. So EA Tempo, guys, another fun deck that I just think it's a lot of fun. Going we got that early aggro, like going really hard with the early aggro. We got the Maleficents, we got the Cursed Merfolk, the Flynn Riders, so a lot of discard. Um, I I don't know how strong this deck is into Steel Song. Like if I as a Steel Song player matched up against this, even on the draw, I'd feel really, really good, to be honest. Um, I've got to admit, I've never seen Elsa played. Chosen character gains Challenger +2 and Rush. Okay, quest for 1. So, but this is just going hard. 19 on Inkables, but just going hard at the paint, right? Getting that early questing in, some discards, some bounce. Yeah, we'll see how he does with all these Steel Song though. Maybe I'm missing something. We've got the Ursulas right to dig out some of that stuff, but yeah, good man. Top 64. God, but there we go. These are the ones I wanted to highlight. We'll bring this back over. And the next thing, just kind of my notes here. So, the next thing is where I just realized I am streaming and not recording, but that's okay. The next thing I wanted to look at is my predictions, right? So my predictions to win it are blue, red, and taking first, and Steel Song taking second. But like I said, I may be very wrong. I think that that blue steel deck might do it. It just has a lot of answers for everything. But yeah, there we go. That is what I think is going to win it tomorrow. If you guys want this, I will have this in. Since I just realized I am streaming, I'll post this. I'll post this in the chat. Um, and I will also have this in the YouTube video. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am signing off. Good luck to everyone on top 64 tomorrow. I wish I could have been there. Maybe next time, but I wish you guys the best. It's going to be some crazy matches, and I can't wait to watch the live stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. We're trying to stay happy and healthy. Do your push ups, drink your water. As long as we're happy, as long as we're healthy, we're living the best life we got. Till next time.